Alright, so Fear of God Essentials just released their holiday line, an entirely new collection, but why does nobody care? What is good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul, and for today's video we've got the latest from Jerry Lorenzo and Fear of God Essentials for the holiday collection. I got a little bit of everything, so in today's video we're gonna go over each and every piece. I'll cover sizing, you'll see this stuff on the body, and of course I will be sharing with you my opinions on each respective garment. At the end of today's video, I will be answering the question I started off the video with as to why nobody seems to care about Fear of God right now. But first, my clothing brand LWH Clothing is set to drop a brand new release on December 10th, which features an entirely new collection that I'm so proud of. Make sure to follow LWH Clothing on Instagram because I'll be doing some giveaways. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into the first piece. So to start things out, we have the Fear of God holiday lounge pants, which do retail at $145. And right off the bat, this was a garment that I was particularly excited about because during the campaign they looked extremely fire, at least on the model. And unfortunately that's as far as it looked fire, because in my humble opinion, for me personally, for my stature, despite the fact I did size all the way down to an extra small, the pants are extremely exaggeratedly oversized and baggy. And mind you, I like baggy pants, but these here are just a little bit too much. I'm literally wearing them above my belly button to get them to fit this way. So this is me trying to make them look as good as possible. But despite that fact, these have an insane amount of heel bite. Mind you, I did size down, and so despite me going into this specific pair of sweats assuming they would just hit like crazy, they disappointed. And they're also disappointing in the fact that the quality of the cotton for this holiday drop doesn't seem to be up to par with Fear of God Essentials of the past, as these do feel a little bit thinner. Now I did want to extend a little bit of grace because they could feel a little bit thinner due to the fact that they do have like an over dyed element to them, almost a washed effect if you will, so maybe that kind of degraded the cotton quality a little bit. But as we work our way through the collection, this is a running theme. Now at $145, this is about 150% of what Essentials used to be like 2 or 3 years ago. Price has gone up, but it seems like the quality has gone down just a smidge. Not a deal breaker in my opinion because they are solid quality sweatpants, but I would be doing you a disservice if I wasn't to mention that. But with that said, I love the script going down the side, and assuming that you do love an extremely baggy flared pair of sweatpants, these sweatpants could be for you. Alright, so today's video did start a little bit rough, but this one here did surprise me in a positive way. This one is known as the Ripstop puffer jacket in gray, and this one to me absolutely surprised me because I didn't expect this one to fit as wonderfully as it does. Got somewhat of an oversized effect, but not too much so. It is nicely puffed, not too much, but also not too dense, providing a nice amount of warmth and a good amount of structure. I love the cut, I love the slight crop, and I love the relaxed nature of the body. With that said, this one does retail at $375, and here we are bordering mainline territory. Well, at least mainline from the Fear of God warehouse sale. Anyways, I digress. At $375, it is a touch pricey, but the piece is really good in my opinion overall. I like the quality. The zipper is a high quality zipper pull, but to me, amongst all things, the color is so beautiful in person. But you guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Next up, we have the cropped crew neck sweatshirt priced at $85. And surprisingly, seeing that $85 price point for a sweatshirt material, I was like, hey, that's a pretty fire price point for what it is. I thought it may have been a glitch, but upon arrival, this has to be one of the most disappointing things I've ever purchased from Fear of God Essentials, and let me explain. The garment feels really unfinished. The cotton is on the lighter side, but amongst those things, the two things that stood out to me was the fact that the dyes seem to be getting on my t-shirt, and this thing just is riddled with cotton falling off of it. Again, this could definitely be a product of the over dyeing process for this garment, but ultimately it is $85. Crew necks from previous drops are right around 100, so I suppose that kind of makes it a little bit better. But I did have high hopes for this because it was marketed as an oversized cropped garment, and I love cropped stuff because I am on the shorter side, and it is cut pretty nice. I'll give it that. It is cut pretty nice, but one thing I don't love is the waistband. It is very, very thick and very snappy, and so it's gonna cinch your t-shirt, and it just doesn't look the best. So this one for me is not a keeper. At 85 bucks, if you don't mind the scrunchy t-shirt look underneath, then you might like this one. All right, so next up, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about these two together because they're more or less the exact same thing. And so here we have the t-shirts, which are priced at $85 for the short sleeve and $95 for the long sleeve respectively. Both t-shirts are cut to fit extremely big. Mind you, both t-shirts are a size small. The short sleeve is very boxy, very wide, and very, very long. It does feature the HD print out front as well as here on the back, 26, signifying that it is the year of our Lord 2026. But with that said, at $85, this thing fits huge. I don't recommend it. I don't like it. But again, it is subject to the wear because some of you guys do like the super duper oversized stuff for a size small. I think this is wild, which is the same case for the long sleeve. Again, you do have the HD print here out front and on this side of the sleeves. Around back, however, you don't have the HD print, and it is only accented by the rubberized patch here on the back. Again, extremely big, extremely unwearable in my opinion. And so due to the fact that the price points are really high at $100 for what these are, and they're virtually unwearable because they're so stinking big. Again, subjective. I can't recommend these two, but let's keep moving. Next up, we have the holiday collection of Fear of God Essentials hoodies, which Fear of God Essentials is known for coming correct, and they very much so lived up to their very high standard. Here we do have a 90s cut relaxed hoodie, and I love how this thing fits. It is over dyed and features a solid HD print out front as well as on the back, similar to the t-shirt. I don't think I need to elaborate too much on this piece apart from the fact that I do recommend taking your true size in Fear of God Essentials, which for me is a size small. It'll fit relaxed with a subtle crop. Overall, very solid hoodie if I don't say so myself. I love this color, by the way. I love how they rendered this washed gray out. Looks really, really nice. So priced at $165, I think this is a solid option, or at the very least you can wait until the Fear of God warehouse sale, which I always post each and every time it goes live on my Instagram, and you can cop it there for what will probably be around 60 bucks. So follow me on Instagram. All right, now moving on to my last pickup of the day, and I wrap up today's video of my thoughts on the entire collection as well as why people don't care about Fear of God right now. These are the tearaway sweatpants, which do match the hoodie that I just spoke about. The color is excellent. Spoiler alert, these sweatpants are excellent as well, which was a surprise to me. I didn't expect me to like these as much as I did, especially more than the other sweatpants that I started today's video out with. But these things here fit really, really nice, and I do believe the key to that is sizing down. I did go for a size extra small, and they do fit my 30 waist just perfectly. What I love about them, of course, is the tearaway element. They have buttons that go all the way down the side and are complemented by the zipper closure down at the bottom. So you effectively have two kind of closures, button and a zipper, reminiscent of pants of the past, say think Fear of God Nike as well as Fear of God Athletics with Adidas. Super solid pair of sweatpants. Color's fire. The fit is extremely fire. I don't really love the 26 here on the side, but I don't hate it either. And it is for that reason that these are actually my favorite piece of the entire collection. Well, these and the puffer jacket. All right, so if you made it this far into the video, I wanted to say thank you so much for keeping your retention so sharp. You deserve a cookie, and if you made it this far, go ahead and comment a cookie emoji, or just comment the word cookie if you're on a laptop or something, so I know you made it to the end. Now, my thoughts on the entire collection are as followed. It is just all right. I do understand there is other script out there, which also to me is just all right. I do like the fact that they brought in the over-dyed or washed out elements to Fear of God Essentials. I will say I am a little disappointed in the quality because the stuff did go up in price point, but I fully understand the economy that we're in right now. We are under an administration that makes it very difficult to bring things in from other countries, so I get that element. But in a world where this stuff did get a little bit more expensive, it would have been nice that they at least keep the quality exact same to previous drops. Ultimately, there are pieces that did stand out, which I did touch upon. It is the puffer jacket. I think that is such a fire piece, as well as the zip tearaway sweatpants. I love the fact that this is now in that sub $200 price point. A little side note, Fear of God Athletics has something similar, which retailed at much higher, but I think you can find them on sale and even at outlets for even less than Essentials. Just some food for thought. But yeah, man, I think the collection overall is just all right, you know? This comes from somebody that has been doing these Fear of God reviews for years now. If you've been following the channel, then you already know that. It's been way back since I started these Fear of God reviews. It's actually what I started my channel on. I personally was looking for reviews on Fear of God, and nobody really had that niche, so I said there has to be more people looking for this. I was studying for med school, so I needed an outlet, which ultimately led to a complete career change, and now I'm in YouTube marketing and I have a clothing line. Anyways, I digress. I've been a fan of Fear of God for a very long time now, and so this is by no means unfounded. I've been with the brand for a very long time. I've actually been offered a job with Fear of God. A lot of you guys don't know that, which one day maybe I'll share the story around that, because it does get a little bit spicy. Again, I digress. I don't know where my mind's at. I'm a new father, by the way, so my brain is not 100% there. I'm kind of just ranting at this point. Again, I digress. In my opinion, I do think Fear of God has lost a little bit of allure, and people have stopped caring about it as much for three main reasons. Now, the first reason being is from common consumers. One thing I always complain about is that Fear of God Essentials isn't innovating. They don't change. It's like regurgitating the same thing more or less, and you see that in the comments all the time on social media, Instagram, so on and so forth. That is kind of the point of Essentials. They're essential garments for the wardrobe, supposed to be easy to be worn, and as a matter of fact, I do think Fear of God Essentials has strayed away from that quite a bit with the super big logos and branding to accommodate those complaints. But yeah, that's the first reason. I think a lot of the common consumers don't really care about Fear of God anymore is for that reason, because they don't think that the designs have changed. The second reason being, I do believe that there is a bit of oversaturation. You guys knew this one was inevitable. You see the sneaker market and where it's at. Obviously, the clothing segment as it relates to like this hype beast era type of stuff, that was affected as well. And Fear of God is more or less kind of cooked in that realm of things. Honestly, for the longest time, Fear of God has been a brand with an if you know kind of idea, kind of the ideology behind it, what made it kind of special. It had an aura, if you will. You didn't really know much about it, but if you were in the know and if you're into this like kind of streetwear hypebeast world, then you're into it. Eventually ended up being on every street corner, ended up being everywhere, like middle schoolers were wearing it, stuff like that, which kind of sent the people who were wearing it for if you know factor away from the brand. And I do believe that fakes and replicas did play a part in this oversaturation burnout for Fear of God Essentials. I hate to say it, but the fakes are really good. I was at the swap meet not too long ago, vintage shopping, and they had Fear of God Essentials, poly bags and all. The difference was nearly indistinguishable, and they were selling this stuff for like $20, which I believe kind of also devalues the brand's allure. And I might be bursting some of you guys' bubble to say this, but replica Fear of God essentials isn't only found at a swamp meet. Years ago, I'm talking 2-3 years ago, I was seeing Fear of God essentials in sneaker resale stores. Well, Fear of God essentials among other things, and a lot of people could not tell the difference by any stretch, but of course, having the knowledge of Fear of God essentials for years and years now, I could personally spot the difference. So that isn't only limited to just swap meets, if you will. It is literally in sneaker resale stores as well as sneaker conventions. There's so much fake Fear of God essentials out there, which also I believe did play into that oversaturation, killing its aura. And finally, the third point, the third reason why I personally believe Fear of God is not as cared for. This one is strictly my opinion. I can't speak for everybody. This is my opinion only. But what drew me to the brand and what kind of brought this cult-like following, in my opinion, I know a lot of my friends kind of agree with me on this, what really brought us in to the Jerry sphere to make us quote unquote Jerry boys, what really made him relatable to us is the fact that he was unashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Everywhere he turned, every opportunity he had, Jerry was praising Jesus for all that he has been able to do, giving the glory to God in all things. And you saw that in how he named his clothing. You saw that in different interviews. You saw that so evident in the campaigns. But it seems like there has been a switch of motives. It seems like the storytelling has kind of moved in a different direction. Not saying that he's not Christian. I'm not talking about Jerry theologically by any stretch. I'm not talking about his faith. I'm speaking strictly from what personally drew me into the brand and why I stuck around for all of these years. It wasn't Jerry. It was always Jesus. I really admired how he's able to tell the story of the gospel and his own personal testimony through fabrics and clothing and cuts and silhouettes, and I've just always really appreciated that about Jerry. I don't see that quite as much lately. I see a lot of politics stuff, which I'm all for. By all means, use your platform for politics or whatever. I'm not against that, but amongst all things, as believers, he's my brother in Christ. He and I are first and foremost not citizens of America, which we both are. We're citizens of heaven, and we are advocates for only one candidate, and that guy is on the throne. His name's Jesus. That to me was the reason. That's what brought me into the Jerry sphere. That's what made me a quote-unquote Jerry boy and so loyal to the brand, is because the designs were fire, and he was doing it to the glory of God. And I just don't see that as much lately. And so that's why I believe the small cult like following that followed Fear of God from like third collection, that's when I entered the race. Moving away from that it kind of just took away from the excitement of what I loved about the brand. But again, strictly my opinion, strictly my perspective. I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say in the comment section down below. Did you pick up any of these garments? Did you actually stop caring like a lot of other people have? Little side note, I didn't stop caring. I'm still doing this video. It's probably not gonna get many views because it's just not popping right now. And I don't care because it's my channel and I like Fear of God. It is what it is. I have plenty of mainline in the collection. I still have the Fear of God shoes, plenty of Fear of God in my wardrobe. So I will leave it at that. Anyways, if you made it this far into today's video, thank you so much, and comment a baby emoji. No, better yet, call me a big fat baby in the comment section, because I had a baby and it'll confuse the other people and it'll communicate to me that you made it this far. Guys, thank you so much for the immense privilege to get to serve you through making content as well as clothing garments. It is an immense privilege of mine to get to do so. If you're interested in this jacket or any of my new garments that are set to release on December 10th, follow LWH Clothing on Instagram. I'm going to be doing a giveaway very shortly and announcing the big campaign, which we did get to shoot in Big Bear. I actually just got back. Anyways, I will catch you guys in the next upload. Peace and be blessed.